Hello, race fans, and welcome to Ryan's Race Reviews. The third race of the 2019 NASCAR season has come, and we got our first full look at the new Aero Package with the Pennzoil 400. And you know what? I'll say it. I'm a little bit underwhelmed, as a lot of NASCAR fans are. I think the media and some of us fans, we set the bar a little bit too high with the expectations of this event. Now, I want to go on record and say I did not dislike this race. I was not bored with it, but it's not one that I'm going to go back and watch next off season when I'm bored waiting for races. It was just okay. It was, it was a race, third race of the season. I think we don't have that fatigue yet that we sometimes get in the midsummer races when, we're racing at places like Pocono and Michigan. It seems like every other week, and maybe the schedule gets a bit dull. So right now, I think we have that added excitement as far as the season still being new and still being exciting that NASCAR's back. So maybe that's why I'm not as upset with the way everything went down on Sunday. But I just wanted to come on and give my thoughts about the race. Nothing really happened other than the pack was closer. So I want to talk about some pros and cons about this race, and of course I'll give it a score here later on in the video. With qualifying being kind of crazy, with cars not making it out in time, and people are saying, oh, we can't qualify like this. Hey, you know what? It's on the driver's hands. If they don't get out there in time, they don't get out there in time. Practice looked wild. I didn't really get to sit down and watch it, but from what I was hearing, it sounded like things got very interesting during practice. So I think a lot of people went into the race on Sunday thinking, oh man, we're really going to see maybe, 10 car packs or couple cars break away and really race each other side by side. What we got was a lot more separation than even myself expected. After watching the test videos from Jeff Gluck and them on Twitter, it looked like, even though they were mostly single file, they would run in a pretty big train, 10, 12, 15 cars, something like that, for about 20, 25 laps. But it seemed like in race conditions, maybe because it was the weather or just we haven't quite got the package figured out yet, reason to be optimistic. But for whatever reason, it seemed like things got strung out. But the only time the leader really got away was in the opening stage when Harvick got out to a 4-second lead. I think that was the biggest lead anybody had all day. And as you all know at this point, the race only had 2 yellows for the stage breaks. There was no other natural cautions to bring the field together. Last year, after 20 laps, if we went on a 50 lap or more, let's just say if we went on a 50 lap or more green flag run at pretty much any downforce track, 1.5 mile type track or 2 mile track, the leader would be gone by 4 seconds in 5 laps, maybe 10. And then after a 50 lap run, it'd be 10 seconds. You might have 2-second gaps between each and every car. At least with this package, we were getting battles throughout the field. Now, Fox did not do a very good job showing us those battles. They never really do. I was getting frustrated watching the coverage because the commentators would be like, they're 2 and 3 wide for 8th, and they're showing in-car cameras of 2nd place. And it's just, I hate the in-car cameras when there's good racing. In-car cameras are good when they're a little bit strung out. We're on a long green flag run and, maybe 20, 30, 40 laps into a race, or into a run, I'm sorry. But when we're showing in-car cameras, when there's battles, I don't want to see that crap because I can't see what's going on. I want to be excited, and when I'm hearing there's exciting stuff going on the track, damn it, I want to see it. And it seems like anytime something good was going on, we had an in-car shot of them going like this. It's not... I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the in-car cameras. I like them for replays, like to see what a driver went through as far as, maybe avoiding a wreck or being caught up in a wreck. It's a cool perspective for that, but just too much in-car camera on Sunday. And I think that really did a disservice to the package when there were a couple of restarts, when there was some good battle, and all we got to see was the driver doing this. We've seen that. We've been there. That happens every week. Show me the battles, Fox. Come on, guys. Show me what's going on the track. Because, like I said, there was good racing. Now, we didn't get packs. We didn't get 2 and 3 wide all day long. And I didn't really think we'd get that. I just thought maybe, we'd have Look at the trucks at Michigan the last few years. You'll get 6, 7, 8 trucks that break away in a single file line for the most part. They're able to stay with each other, maybe try to make moves on each other. That's kind of what I thought we would see. Maybe we'll get to that point, maybe at Michigan, maybe at California, places like that. Maybe we just haven't got the package figured out yet. So we're really 1.5 races into this. Atlanta was the half package, So I think we still got to give this a little bit of time for the teams to get it figured out. Maybe for the drivers to figure out how to maneuver their cars in the air. Look at Daytona 2013 with the new generation car. Not the greatest racing there, but as the season went on and we progressed with these cars, the racing has gotten better at those types of tracks. Now the rules have changed. We were able to put the ass end of the car on the ground now, which I think NASCAR needs to go back to ride height rules. I think that'll help tremendously with the racing because right now aerodynamics it's king. Even with this package, clean air, we got to do something about clean air, and I don't know what the solution is. I'm not a scientist, but there's got to be something we can do to make it to where everybody's equal on the racetrack. I don't want to say make it a disadvantage to be the leader, but we got to come up with some way that second, third place, or the car running behind a car can actually benefit from being behind that car and actually use the draft to suck up and close in. That's the kind of racing I want to see. I love pack racing at Daytona and Talladega. It's exciting. They're inches apart. Any moment something big can happen. I do enjoy that. But I think what we need is the ability for the cars to be able to suck up and pass one another. Not necessarily run 2, 3 wide all night or all day, whatever it may be, but just to be able to ride up next to somebody and pass. Now, I think we're getting there with this package. I think it's a good half measure as far as I didn't find this race to be as boring as last year's Vegas race in the spring. The playoff race was bonkers. This race does not top that from back last year in the playoffs. But I think we're getting somewhere. The racing was better. I was entertained. We had a good finish. So there's my rant on the package. I don't hate it. I don't think it's perfect. I think there's more that can be done. But I got to credit NASCAR for trying something. And I'm going to let it play out. Now, like I said, maybe in 10 races or so I'll get sick of this and I'll be bored. We'll see how my tone changes. But as far as this race goes, yeah, I would have loved to have seen a couple more cautions to get some of those good restarts going. Because the restarts were fun. 4 or 5 laps after a restart, it was good. There's video of, this lap and last year and this lap this year. The racing was closer. The racing is closer. I'm happy about that. So let's see how it evolves down the road. But to quickly recap this race, Kevin Harvick, he's closing in on Martin Truex for the all-time stage leader. I think he's at 25, 26, and Truex is at 29. So if anyone's keeping score of that, Harvick is closing in on Truex for the all-time stage winner leaderboard. So he led stage 1. The next restart for stage 2 was exciting. And then Joey Logano wins stage 2. The most interesting thing that happened in this race, as far as up near the front, was when Kurt Busch used pit strategy to get up front. I figured he'd get swallowed up by the pack and just drip back. But he was able to get up there, and he got past, and then he was able to pass for the lead. And he led for a few laps. Then Joey Logano, who had the fresh tires, was eventually able to get through in the third stage. And then we had a great battle as the race was closing in between Penske teammates Keselowski, who won in Atlanta, and Joey Logano. What I did like here was, normally last year, if Keselowski would have passed Logano as he did this year, I think Keselowski would have took off and been gone and won the race. But this year with the new package, he wasn't able to get away, and Logano's car eventually came back to him. He was able to get back around Keselowski. They battled. We had some good natural lead changes in that sequence. It was pretty exciting. But then Logano was able to get by and hold on. But as Logano's car started going away, Keselowski was actually able to catch up to him in the last 3-4 laps, got you on the edge of your seat. And that's something we didn't get a lot of last year, was close finishes. And this year, the last 2 weeks, it's come right down to the wire. At Atlanta, Truex was chasing down Keselowski, and this week, Keselowski's chasing down Logano and almost got him. If we would have had another lap or two, Keselowski might be a 2-time winner this year. But when all was said and done, checkered flag flies. Logano is able to hold off Keselowski. Love how they were able to get him fist pumping as he came off turn number 4 when he knew he had the race won. So Logano makes it 3 winners in 3 races. That used to be something that we would go 7, 8, 9, 10 races in the season before we got a new winner. The last few years, it seems like it only goes 3 or 4. Last year, hell, Kevin Harvick dominated the first 4 races. So we'll see. We got 3 winners in 3 races. Going to Phoenix next week. Harvick is really good there. Kind of going back to the old package from last year for Phoenix, the 750 horsepower, just with the different splitter and oil pan configurations under the car. No aero ducts or anything like that. So for those of you that didn't like this package, well, Phoenix, going to be a little bit different. Going to have the full horsepower. So for those of you who think the cars look too slow, which doesn't bother me. I say slow them down even more if it makes it better racing. But Phoenix is going to be a whole different animal. It's kind of going to be our 4th package in 4 races. Harvick, probably going to be good. You can probably go back and use last year's Phoenix races as a catalyst for what to expect this year. The playoff race, again, was hectic. The spring race last year, not as much. But again, not as much on the line. And I honestly think with this package, we didn't see a whole lot of single car issues. We haven't really seen anybody really spin out on their own. But I think as we go further on, the playoffs start to loom, drivers are on the edge of making it, make or break for their season, we might see more contact. We might see more aggressive racing. Right now, everybody's, kind of giving each other room and playing nice. But that's going to change, I think, as we get closer to playoff time and closer to the end of the season, things are going to pick up. So Phoenix should be fun. I always look forward to it. It's a different kind of racetrack other than the cookie cutters that we normally get. I look for Harvick to be good. Chase Elliott will probably be up there. Maybe Kyle Larson will be up there. We'll see how these cars race with the 750 horsepower package with the new splitter and oil pan rules. We'll see if it's any different. I don't expect it to be much different. So if you like the racing at Phoenix last year, tune in Sunday because you're probably going to like it. I'll be tuning in. I'm interested to see how it goes. I was very critical on the racing last year, but I still love NASCAR as a whole, and I'm still going to follow it no matter what happens unless they start cutting the schedule down. If they cut the schedule to anything below 30 races, or they cut the field to anywhere below 36 cars, if they keep cutting fields, that'll cut me off because I don't want less of what I like. So as long as NASCAR, if they want to change the schedule, go to more short tracks, I'm all for that. But keep the schedule, keep the race distances. It's a grind. It's the top level of racing. It shouldn't be 100, 200 lap races like your local short tracks. That's what the short tracks are for. So, anyways, there's my little bit of a rant. I give the Vegas race a 5. I wasn't disappointed. It was just average to me. It was just like any other race, just a little bit closer together. So we'll see if the package takes off, gets any better. Well, and if not, well, they'll probably change it for next year, and we'll see what happens. But we got to be patient. As NASCAR fans, we got to hang in there, and we still got to root for our drivers. We still got to cheer those guys on, support them for doing what they love and entertaining us. So that's my thoughts on that. I give the Vegas race a 5. Hopefully Phoenix is a little more exciting, but we'll see what happens. I will be back next week to cover that race. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been Ryan's Race Reviews. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe and like this video. I guess that's what you got to do nowadays on YouTube. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk about Phoenix next week. So enjoy your week, and we'll see you then.